What's up, guys? Welcome to the TCG Scrubs podcast. I'm Oscar, and with the usual dudes, Colin and Joey.
Well,
yeah. And welcome. And just to jump into the whole sponsors thing, and visit them. The links in the description below. Check out Happy Little Hug Factory. I know they sent emails to anybody who had purchased product already, trying to see feelers for the next set. Because next set, let's just be honest, a lot of people are kind of speculative of like what's happening, with the game or what that set in particular. So it's not a huge surprise, but we'll check them out, later when they have the pre-orders up. I noticed they haven't updated with the Buylist or even singles on their website, but you guys check them out on TCG Player. You can at least find them, all their postings on there, and then also to play DKP accessories for that magnetic playmat that we have. Again, we keep saying we're gonna record a video soon. That one weekend we had opportunity to, it was just too hot, and I was like, I don't want to do it, because we also spent the day out playing Pokemon Go. And so hopefully we have the opportunity again. I heard that laugh.
Yeah, me.
And also to they have a special deal coming up soon for the DKP accessories thing. I should have had that pulled up here. Yeah, I'm not going to find it this quick. Also to patreon.com/TCG Scrubs. Everything that, our patrons help us with there, help support the channel, and to upgrade this microphone, which I'm using right now, and to hopefully getting the guys upgraded as well. This microphone system is actually more useful than just us recording with for this podcast or anything, the videos we're doing on our computers. It helps us take this setup with us on the road for if we go to other GPs that may happen. To one, if we're going to do live coverage of the GP, to have better quality audio than we had that last time, or to be able to do like an on-the-road type podcast or on-the-go type of interviews. So patreon.com/TCG Scrubs. We also do a patron podcast. We did a deck profile just the other day with one of our patrons' decks, and me and Joey have been doing casual gameplay and uploading that as well. So you kind of get some cool games through Lackey, which I still have to say I prefer over Untap. But you guys want to check that out? Patreon.com/TCG Scrubs. And
I should keep like a win-loss record of our matches last year. Our casual matches.
You should. I mean, it's not too late just to go double check or to remember.
Maybe.
I don't remember. I've only had 3 videos.
We're somewhere around even.
Yeah. I think we had to consider the first one a draw since you lost internet. But
yeah.
So something that I wanted to get into before we go too further in the podcast, which slower week, we're gonna have like ruler of the week type thing later on that we'll discuss, which will take up most of the podcast. But for those of you who are maybe in the Central Texas area, Austin, Dallas, San Antonio, and Houston, which are further reaches out, but we're going to be having the ARG Summer Celebration on July 13th, which is a Saturday. Yes, it's outside of the window for the ARG celebration based on how the website advertises it. That just is for qualifying for the invitational ticket. If you buy a kit, you can actually run it anytime you want and any way you want to. So our store got a kit. We're all just going to play for the playmats and some pack pricing. So you guys want to check that out. It'll be at Mothership, Austin, Texas. So Saturday, July 13th, 1 p.m. is when it starts. 12 is registration start time. And also for any of you guys going to RTX, I know Colin and I and Melissa will be there. We mentioned this a month or so ago, but if you guys are going, that'd be cool to meet some of y'all, or maybe we take some. If we know you're going, we'll take our cards with us. So if we meet up with y'all, we can play a game with somebody. But without that,
yeah, our local store that we go to, Mothership, is the one that's running the whole tabletop area at RTX. So it'll be really cool if we could get some games going, even if it's not a Force Will. Like if you listen to our Patreon podcast, we'd love to do some maybe deck builders or something like that. I'm not quite sure what all they'll have there to play or what we can bring and play, but it'd be cool just to hang out for a little bit.
Yeah, with plenty of heads up, we can account for all that. I have plenty of deck builders behind me. I can bring one with me. Of course, like I said, I'm not going to bring it unless I know we're going to hang out with somebody and play some games. But that's July 5th weekend, so let us know if you are going. What else are we going to talk about? I just want to make sure I got those parts out because I remember thinking about it the past few days, wanting to talk about it.
Sounds pretty cool. It sounds fun.
It does sound fun. So I think the first thing we're going to talk about was the rulers.
Oh, actually, I thought that was like the bigger part of what we're talking about. Argent Saga had their Kickstarter launch recently. That was a smaller topic.
Oh yeah.
And what are they at so far? It's been like
last I checked, they're at 42,000 with a goal of 50,000 and stretch goals that are at the 75, 100, and 125 mark, if I remember right.
And that launched off on Thursday, I believe, right? Wednesday, Thursday,
maybe.
It was later in the week. I remember
that launched
we had a day or two
ago.
No, it hasn't even been a full week yet. That's what I'm saying, because I think it launched right before the weekend. I remember being like, "Oh, it's perfect." Some people probably just got paid, had some extra money to spend, type of thing. But
when did I see Colin's video then?
Oh, that was a while ago. They put that video up to drum up excitement for it, but the Kickstarter itself didn't. Yeah, I mean, that video is the main video on the Kickstarter page, and that was the main purpose of the video, was to be on the Kickstarter page. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, they launched it, and Oscar mentioned something, and this is a misconception with Kickstarter, that a lot of people are getting paid, so they're going to go and pledge and stuff, but it doesn't actually charge you till the event ends. Mm-hmm. So that's in 3 weeks is when it'll actually charge you. So you could go and pledge however much you want, and it won't actually withdraw from your bank account for 3 weeks when the campaign ends itself. So that's a good thing to keep in mind.
But I mean, psychologically, I understand where Oscar's coming from.
Yeah.
Like, you feel
but I don't like doing that, because then I'd be like, I would have that in my head of like, oh, I got money this week to spend on it, and then in my head I'd be like, I spent the money on it,
and see somebody
in 3 weeks I'd be like, what?
But at least we clarified it, because somebody who's like me, who's out there listening to this podcast, maybe think of, oh, I got paid, but I had no extra money. Now knows, oh, if it's a month, then maybe I can work some overtime on one of the weeks and then make sure I get that type of money.
What like comes along with the Kickstarter, and what's like the donation tiers? I mean, just like off the top of your heads. Now I'm thinking maybe I'll.
The tier. So there's two different things, and I think this is one thing Oscar wanted to mention. Mm-hmm. There's the tiers and there's pledges. The tiers, there's a bunch of different ones. They range with like little like pins to play mats to some like a random starter deck. They just added one that's $80. That's all 5 starter decks. And the final one, which is the most popular one, which is $150, which comes with a booster box, 2 starter decks, play mat, a 2-player play mat, the pin, and the exclusive promo for the Kickstarter, and I think something else, or is that it?
Okay.
But so those are tiers. So tiers, it goes up to $150, and you get everything from the previous tiers. With each tier up, you go.
So wait,
separate. Okay.
So if you do $150, do you get the $80 5 booster packs? Or
no. So you mean star deck or intro decks?
Yeah.
No. So I believe those are the pledges. So you have two different things. And the easiest way is just to, when you go on Kickstarter, go to click on something, just read what it says. If it's a tier, it tells you exactly what it comes with. If it's a pledge, it still tells you exactly what it comes with, so there's no confusion. But tiers go up to $150, and it stacks all the previous tiers, which it lists inside of the box itself. Pledges are just straight up, you give, $150, here's an uncut sheet of one of the star decks. $500, here's 5 metal towers, etc. And so I think the 5 starter decks are part of that. And so it makes it easy if you want one of the tiers and one of the pledges, because you just pledge $150 for the tier, and then an extra, say, $300, and then there's a place where you like type in or select what pledges you want with that extra $300 that you put in on top of the $150. Stuff like that. It's a little bit confusing, but
it was actually really confusing. There was quite a few posts, right around the release of it and leading up to it, about what the difference between the pledge and the tier was, and I was confused as well. I thought I didn't know they're separate things. Like when I've only done like 3 Kickstarters, and I've always just been like a lower tier person who's signed up for a Kickstarter, where it's like I got $5-10 I can donate towards them, or if I go looking in, it's like I was gonna do 10, it's like there's 15 or 5 more extra bucks, and I get something out of it, like I'll do it. So like these things seem to be like a higher level type of support that you're giving. So I had never seen them before leading up to it.
Well, and And I feel like they definitely could have done a better job explaining going into it because I was very confused on it, especially when making that video. I was being sent different things to use to show for the rewards, and I didn't know what was what. I think just a simple explanation post or like a little video snippet, especially one that's on the Kickstarter explaining what it is, would have been super helpful because it is a little bit confusing, especially if you're not familiar with how Kickstarter works. But basically the rule of thumb is just read what the actual box says, and that's exactly what you're getting, no more, no less than what that box physically says on Kickstarter. But it's some pretty cool stuff. Like I said, they just added the intro deck, so they'll meet their goal probably later this week, I think, because we'll hit Friday again, so people will get paid and want to go pledge. So that'll be fun, and it's just a matter of if we'll reach the stretch goals and see what they end up being.
Yeah, it's been pretty cool to check out. Joey, did you get your is it demo deck?
Yeah, I got my demo deck. I didn't sign up for a second one because I'm lazy and I feel like I'm like grifting. I don't know, But I got the yellow one.
Oh yeah, there's only one you get.
That's the only one.
Yeah.
Oh really? Oh, I thought
Yeah.
it like sent you random ones. So it would be just yellow versus yellow.
It would make sense. It's yellow versus yellow. It would make sense if they did that because like it comes with 3 towers and half the stones. So if you got at least if the second one was just one other color option, like here's the black one and you get the other or you get 3 towers but 2 of them are the other towers and here's 5 more of those things. Like it makes a little more sense. But yeah, I mean it's too bad you can't play with it. But pretty good quality on the cards. It's not the final quality. I think they're saying is like there's supposed to be a semi-gloss, not an actual final gloss, like the way it has, and I think the backside gloss. The backside will be textured around the logo.
I was surprised, like it didn't really click to me that the shards are just producing like colorless-esque mana.
Yeah.
So or rock juice or whatever.
Shard light.
You guys call it, because your whole deck is gonna be dual color based on what your spirit is. So it's not like you need extra types of mana.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not built around like the mana resource. It's built around the deck ability essentially, which is pretty interesting. Obviously, we'll get like special ability shards, but they'll probably all still produce all the colors because no reason not to.
I think that I saw something, right? It was posted somewhere that some special shards are coming out soon.
Yes, I think they were. There's
teasing.
for sure that I talked about in the Forcible News of the new like mini product that'll come out after the first booster. But
that's what
the
it
next.
was.
And
yeah.
The listing of it said that there was, I think, 4 special shards in it. So we'll for sure be getting some in that.
We'll see what that
We'll probably
is.
have some in the first booster set as well.
Yeah, which that was revealed off the Southern Hobby website, which is a distributor. But so that was actually a thing about back on the Kickstarter for this game is the Metal Tower tier. It's like a $500 tier. I think there's like 3 backers currently. It was posted in the Argent Saga group, which I want to bring that up too, is like a thing in a second. But there's 5 metal towers, and you can use those metal towers forever. The thing was that as newer ones come out, all your towers have to be the same thing, same like type. Like if it's metal towers, it's metal towers. So if a new tower comes out, it's like a better one to replace at least 1 tower. You can't use your metal towers anymore unless later on metal towers are released.
So the metal towers are like cards made of metal?
Yeah, it's the towers themselves, just metal.
Well, I thought they were little like chess, like kind of like chess sets, chess pieces, but they were towers, so that you can put them on top of your cards or behind your cards.
No, it's just
instead
like
of like kind of like paperweights esque.
It's like the Force of Will metal rulers when you go top of GP. It's essentially the same thing.
I remember those.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, the obvious solution is that they'll just release the different towers as metal as pricing and stuff like that, and keep these intro deck towers as the Kickstarter exclusive that you could only have ever gotten here. Mm-hmm. That way people, if they want to use the metal towers, they'll have avenues at least to get them in some fashion. and stuff like that. But I mean, yeah, unfortunately, that's a side effect. That's just
but it just makes you wonder
happen.
how that's going to work out, because like I interpreted it as that pledge for the $500 for the metal towers was like, this is exclusive. This is the only time you'll get these metal towers. And if that's the case, and let's just say it ends today, 3 people are getting those towers. So then later down the road, they're like, okay, some sort of Grand Prix pricing, top 8 gets like metal towers, right? And various colors of the newer ones that come out. If those newer ones are like, they're useful and like they run 3 of them and they're like, oh, but I need 2 of the old ones, only 3 people ever got the old ones.
Oh yeah.
So all of a sudden they're either
issue.
not using those newer ones, or the people who got the Kickstarter ones who don't make it to a Grand Prix don't get the newer metal towers, and then they are too also out of the loop of it and having to play regular cards. Or
I can
they
see
rip
that.
off, not rip off, they jip out the people who were on the Kickstarter and go, oh, they're not exactly Kickstarter exclusives. Like, we're going to give some away throughout the year as well. And so that way, when the next set of them comes out, sorry, I got a message.
Well, all
on
tarts
Twitter.
of them would be just fine. I think if they did that, all tarts of these towers to release later on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the better route would have been to have done metal champions and spirits, because it doesn't matter
Or
if they're
just-
metal or not, because they're revealed the whole time.
Like what I said, where you have little chess pieces that are like full metal and they're big towers. That way you could put the card face down and have a metal tower on top of it. That would look pretty cool.
You can't reveal what the tower is, Joey.
No. The 5 towers would all be like generic chess pieces. Like they would be like
that's
door
dumb.
towers
I'm
or
over
something.
it.
No,
I'm
that'd be
super over
super
it.
cool.
I'm
It'd
super
be like you
over
had like
it.
5 queens on your side of the field.
Yeah. It would have been cool, I think,
I'd be
or to if they had a tier that was all 5 champions instead of all 5 towers. That would have been. I think more people might have gravitated toward that.
Like,
And they can still add it. They can add tier, like they just add this intro deck tier. They can still add stuff, which is a good idea to keep interest in the Kickstarter, is to keep adding tiers and recycling others out.
I mean, it would have been cool to see like 5 metal, what are they called again? Champions or whatever?
Yeah.
Character dudes. And then 5 of
Sure.
the spirits. And then like those are 2 different pledges. But they're cheaper than the towers, because they would account for people being like, oh, I want both sets, so they go buy both sets up.
You know what would have been even better, Oscar? Is 10 metal shards. Just like, I'm calling a shard, clink. Oh, another shard, clink.
No, because then
That
that would
amazing.
reveal information. If I went and we're like, after the first set's released, and I see my opponent has nothing but metal shards, I'm like, cool, they're not running any of the special shards. I don't have to worry about
I
that.
wouldn't care at that point. At that point, I wouldn't care. They'd be distracted by 10 metal shards
So-
in a stack.
So are the towers, because I don't really remember if we talked about how like rotation is going to work or whatever. Like, are the towers specific to their cluster, or
We don't know that either.
We don't know what
because-
rotation is.
No, we don't know how
if,
the rotation is
if
gonna
like,
work.
yeah, if you can only use towers from the cluster, then it would make sense to have metal towers. Because
Yeah.
next set,
I just interpreted it as the way they phrased it when somebody asked was that like at some point this year, more towers would come out, and that you'd need to make sure you had all metal towers to use them. But they also want to make it sound like, but don't worry, because there'd be a way to there may be stuff in the future we don't know either, type thing. But you never know. Also,
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, but it's pretty cool. I like what I was seeing on the Kickstarter. I wish I had money for the metal towers, because that's sort of my jam. $100 per tower for a metal tower card that's unique to this event is. I saw some people complain about the pricing. I completely disagree. I think that's. I wish there was tiers. Maybe that was $100 and you get a tower at random. That would have been cool. But outside of that, I think $100 for a metal tower is completely
$100
because those
you-
are going to
you
go
get-
for it.
one random tower that you'll never use.
Well,
Yeah. I don't
I
know
guess so.
about that.
It's a collector's piece. Like I
Yeah.
would like to get acrylic rulers that I'm never going to use in my life, but it'd be cool to have them to show off my binder. There's binder
I would
collectors.
have to see like the actual metal towers or feel them, because I feel like you could like do like CNC or like machine your own kind of like.
I
kinda
feel like he
no
had a
cards,
video
but not all
showing
cards.
not the
No.
tower, but one of the cards that were metal, and it looked
They're
kinda cool.
they're doing metal tests, I'm sure, but I don't think we've seen the towers at all. I'm sure we'll see them soon, but I don't know. Maybe they'll do something that makes it unique, and you can't just replicate your own. Like that's like
Yeah, I
saying
don't know. I
people
feel like I
are out
would
there
pay
making
it.
metal rulers right now for Force of Will, but
I I feel like I
producing
could
it.
pay like a machinist $500 to make me some metal towers.
Anyways,
And
on the subject of people
anyways.
complaining about the price of the towers, was to bring up the group itself. There's the Argent Saga group that everybody's a part of right now, which initially I had thought was interesting, seeing as it was company created. And I was like, oh, I wonder if that's going to be like an issue down the road. And it turns out there's not like a huge issue, but it's something that I noticed. I know Colin noticed it, was that somebody created an argument like, why are these metal towers $500? It doesn't cost you $500 to make them. Why is it that this sheet of holographic, uncut paper is going to cost this much money? It costs you, a couple bucks to make it. And there's all these arguments. I'm not going to argue prices or anything like that or say this guy was right, but I'm going to bring up the point that Jim came in and swooped in, kind of counter arguing the point in a rude way, and then just shuts the post down. I'm assuming he shut the post down, but when you're sitting there as a admin, moderator, whatever it is of the page itself, and the post gets shut down, even if it's one of your other dudes doing it, it's like there needs to be a page where it's just not run by the company that has a larger following than that page has, or has equal following. You know what I'm saying? Where things can be discussed without being shut down and ending conversation.
Yeah, I've always been a big fan of not shutting stuff down. Like, I've even felt like the Forceville US and Global Group have been too strict in areas. Like, I'm more of a just let everyone post stuff within reason of, as long as it's related to the topic and it's not, beating up on people or anything like that. Too badly, at least. But, I enjoy stuff that's just, like, people can say what they want. They can post what they want. We run the Transformer US group, which is separate from the Transformer card game Facebook group, and someone reported a post in there because it was leaks from the new set, and I was like, hey, I don't care, it's cool to see leaks. So it's cool. I like groups like that. So it is like I had pointed out to Oscar that I've seen at least 3 posts, I think, in a very short amount of time in the Argent Saga group get locked down for I don't even know why, because it seemed like it was just discussions, or even if they're slightly heated, it's still discussions get locked down. Where I've only seen that once in quite a while in the global group. It's a side effect of if it's run by people who work at the company, they want to keep a positive image on it, and if this is the big public face of it, they're going to do everything they can to do that. So it would be nice if there was a side group. Not like an After Dark group, just like an Argent Saga -US group.
Or global group, some sort of separate group. Which I was saying, one of these competitive groups that have, there's been 2 competitive groups that sprout out that have low numbers, but one of these could easily just rename itself to Argent Saga Discussion, and that's where everybody goes type of thing.
Yeah. No, but that's it's just one of those things where it kind of stifles some of the discussion. Yeah, especially in some of those posts. I couldn't tell you why it was locked down. And when you can read when it's not the user, the creator of the post who shut down. So it's like, why was this shut down? That's weird. Yeah. But yeah.
Moving on from there, because you brought up the global group and post being shut down. It's not referencing that, but somebody was asking recently if Forceful would be at Gen Con, and I actually didn't even think about the fact that they probably wouldn't. And I think Jeremy over at Ruler School had said he saw I'm sure it's on the website, you see the layout of people who are going to be there in their booths and where they're at to plan accordingly, and he didn't see the Force Will on there, but Svetlana was like, oh yeah, they're going to be there, I'm pretty sure of it. And everybody's like, wait, what, where'd you hear this, and is that for sure? But she hadn't responded to that yet. I don't know if you reached out to her at all.
No, I forgot to message her to see, but I'll do that before the news. But yeah, so I mean, I it's safe to assume that they won't be there if they're not already on the sheet. Jeremy was pretty confident that they wouldn't be there, and it makes sense because they would probably don't even know about Gen Con because people running it weren't the ones who were doing that.
I mean,
going to.
They went to.
No, I'm being facetious, but I'm saying there's that, and it going to Gen Con would involve talking to the player base, so they probably wouldn't want to do that. So.
I mean, I also don't think they have any people who have filled Jeff's shoes as global liaison or anything like that. So I don't know who they would send out or what they would send out.
Jeff wasn't at the last Gen Con. Who ran the last Gen Con?
Rob.
Was it Rob? I thought it was. Was it not Alan, or was that?
No,
someone
Alan
else?
was there helping teach players, but Rob was running it.
Okay.
Yeah, but you could easily just get Jeff wasn't there, but you could easily get Alan and someone else
Right.
there to help.
And I mean,
do it.
I guess I was thinking more of like the chain of command, or the chain that connects the Forceful headquarters to North America and stuff. Like, I don't know, who knows?
Which
where
sucks because they were
that's
yeah
going.
they did a really good job with Gen Con last year. Was actually really cool, and it made Oscar and I go like, okay, for sure we'll go to Gen Con next year and not miss Force of Will ever again. And now they're like, oh yeah, we're not going. So it's like, oh well, okay, that sucks. I guess we're not going to Gen Con now, but we were planning on trying to go to Gen Con.
That's the reason why we're not
do Force of Will, yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see what happens. They've been spoiling artwork, which has been pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the artwork looks really nice. So
Yeah, there's some interesting stuff in there.
Which someone point out something interesting on the artwork. I think you know more about that, Oscar.
I mean, the only thing I've noticed about the artwork was that one of our locals said it looked like Yu-Gi-Oh art at one of the cards, and then
the competition.
I was speculating like, hey, what if this is just that artwork from those college students from that ad that we had seen from months ago on the Japanese page?
Well, someone else separate from you pointed that out as well.
Oh, did they? I didn't see that.
Yeah, so I didn't know if you had looked into that or not, but
No,
well, it's
kinda
not a
know
big
that.
deal. That's that's a good cost saving measure to get original art and stuff. But I just thought it was
Well,
It's
I mean,
interesting.
looking at it, like, and there's one card in particular that's different. The blue, somebody called it like it's one of the gods. Is looks like a different style of art, and there hasn't been anything that's like super 100% familiar just off of sight per se. So I'm wondering if it is like new art. We'll find out when the cards come out and we see all the artist names and whether or not like any of them are the ones we were used to seeing all the time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's only 50 cards, so we'll be able to know pretty quickly through. I don't know how quickly we'll burn through spoiler season, but we'll know pretty quick.
Well, I was kind of thinking, maybe it was just me, but I felt like the art was a little too good for like, college kids and stuff. But who knows?
Nah, Oscar's a college kid, so.
Do you think your art would have been as good as that?
If I was as serious as maybe some of those art students who are applying for that are, with constantly practicing and all that stuff and consistently in school for the full 4 years, then yeah, I think I could produce something that, if not that way, then on the level of what Forceful already had. But with the level I'm at now and the fact that like I don't keep up with it in practice, I've just been doing videos all the time, I would say no, I couldn't produce that right now.
Yeah, if only someone on TCG Scrubs kept telling you to do your graphic and drawing instead of the videos once in a while.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. I was going to say something.
No, it's okay. We'll
you
just
said
keep
this.
commissioning stuff. We'll just keep commissioning stuff. You're right.
We were planning on transitioning into.
No, there's something along these lines of this artwork. Oh, no. I remember now. There was a post the other day, and I cracked up laughing at it because somebody came out of nowhere, and they're like, "Oh, I want spoilers for the next set, whatever." And someone goes, "Here you go," and they just start posting like comments from the starter decks.
That's actually pretty good.
Oh man, that's good. That reminds me as a side break because I was like, oh, that would be a really hilarious skit, and I was like, oh right, I gotta upload those at some point.
Where's our skits?
Yeah, Colin's
Well,
supposed to
we-
finish recording one more.
They're part of a set.
Yeah.
No, there's two more to
okay.
record.
Two more.
At least one of them, if not both of them, require all three of us.
Yeah.
And so Oscar needs to be here, but law stuff's been happening. So
Not like me, three of us, right? Like
No.
Melissa.
No. Like Oscar over here. So this weekend we'll try and finish up the last of those skits and upload it next week if possible.
I'm gonna take a shot at
just,
us
like,
here.
upload mine.
I like how it's like something keeps happening, and like last Saturday we just played like deck builders the whole day.
Well, to be fair, I totally forgot about it last Saturday.
Yeah,
but,
no, I did too.
Yeah.
And what's funny is like we were like, oh, we gotta record this, and this, and you kept going, man, I feel like I'm forgetting something, and I didn't remember it till right now when you said we need to record this. That was probably it.
Yeah, I always like that just happened to yesterday. I think also where I was remembered something that we were supposed to do. But yeah, good.
You should at least upload mine since mine is separate.
Okay, I'll upload yours.
yeah,
it's
I
on
guess
Drive,
yours
right?
is
I can get it from Drive still.
Because I thought mine was hilarious, but
I'll have to look for it, and we'll upload that and let everybody check it out.
we
Also,
can create hype for them.
if anybody from Argent Saga who is listening to this is still here or whatever, but we had a gameplay come up just the other day. Probably a couple mistakes in it, but still figuring things out. Some people who are very interested, who are very supportive of seeing Argent Saga content in general. So
had some cool card overlays going on.
Oh, I didn't watch it. I didn't think about watching it.
Yeah,
I forgot that you were going to do that, so I have to check it out. But,
yeah, I totally did stay up till 5 a.m. editing that.
Yeah. As
like an hour past your usual bedtime.
So as for more of those videos coming out, I think we're going to wait for the first set to be fully revealed, so you can start building some more interesting decks and seeing some like meshed up starter deck stuff, which I'm sure
we could also just do Oscar has the alpha star decks that there should be a box opening coming up this week, or a pack opening of him going over them, giving his thoughts.
Still sitting here sealed in their little packaging.
Yeah, he was going to open them and give his thoughts on the cards and the quality, and also I think he had some a damaged one or
there's a couple that had damaged corners, which I'm assuming is the fact that they sent it in like just a bubble mailer with no box around the actual cards. But I had some that looked like the edges got roughed up pretty hard.
Which I thought was weird because they're selling them for the same price as the normal star decks, but they didn't put any. The normal star decks will obviously have the box around it, and I assume they'll also ship it in a box as well if you ordered all 5 of them.
Pretty protected, yeah.
So I was kind of bummed out that they just it was just plastic and a bubble mailer. I mean, I like that they got it out so fast. If you followed the Facebook page of when they got them in and shipped them out. Was super short, but I think most people would have been okay with waiting another day or two if it meant they had a little bit of extra protection. Whether it was bubble wrap around each of the individual decks, that would have cushioned them perfectly fine, or in a box. But
yeah, and if you're looking for getting one of those, we'll try to remember. Just comment if we don't, to put a link where you can pick up the 5 starter deck combo. They're only doing it as the 5-in-1 package now, as opposed to individual ones. You can before they came out, you could buy them individually.
Well, you have a choice now. You can get the alpha decks like Oscar did, or you can get the actual decks via the Kickstarter also for $80 for all 5.
Which comes with the playmat, I believe.
What kind of packaging did it come in?
I just held it up on the screen and I just threw it to the ground and it tumbles behind my computer, so I can't reach it anymore. Okay. But it's a bubble. Yeah, the bubbled mailer is what it was.
Okay, yeah. Mine came in the same thing, so I was curious.
Yeah. If you guys are interested in more intro deck gameplay, we have the intro decks now, so we can actually, instead of us having to go through all the effort of proxying them, we literally just have to sleeve them up and play with them now. So it's easy for us to record gameplay if that's something you guys are interested in, or if you'd rather wait for the more legit decks once spoilers roll out, which you guys probably have seen. We have spoiler videos now coming out for it. So
speaking of things like gameplay, again, me and Joey have been doing casual games over on the Patreon. Over on Patreon. It's not like the Patreon. Over on Patreon, if you guys want to check that out, I think at some point we'll start to release like 1 or 2 of them here on the channel just to keep up with some more content. I have some gameplays that Colin and I did that I still need to finish editing. One of them's halfway done, of actual physical gameplay for Force of Will that I'll be releasing soon. Sorry, that's all for Force of Will.
Physical gameplay.
Yeah, so the real cards in hand. And then I got an alpha key access to a card game that I've been following for quite a while that caught my attention just because of artwork. I think I noticed it near the end of Lapis Cluster, beginning of Red Cluster, and it's called Myth and Legends. It's an old card game that was around in like the 90s that died out, and then a company in Chile picked it up, and they call it like Mitos y Leyendas, but it's all Spanish. But they created a game on Steam that you can actually play. It's like an online client that actually translates to English. I was able to get a key from them. I'm going to do an experimental video here on like Patreon, just kind of exploring the actual game itself with everybody, and then release an actual game going over what it is, because they did say that if there's enough interest into the game that from you guys watching it, they'd be willing to give us extra keys to hand out to you guys, which would be cool. It's alpha again, so it's very, very basic, and the only thing they have in it right now are just 5 or 4 starter decks that you can play with against somebody, and the system's really just you hit play, you pick a deck, and you just go into the game itself, and it just pairs you up with somebody, and that's really all it is right now. But it's pretty cool. I like to see it, get further and actually get some of its cards. Which, when they're talking to me, it sounds like that's what they want to do. Is like eventually incorporate their entire collection of cards, which they're 20 sets in. I think since their reboot. So that's something we're gonna do. I spent today translating. I went to their website has decks on it, and I picked up 2 decks. And then I translated the cards and built 2 decks. So me and Colin are going to give it a shot. I don't think we're going to record it initially. We're going to have some fun just trying to figure it out. And then maybe record a video down the road. So that's something fun and exciting that we'll do eventually. You guys can look out for. I guess if you want us to record us trying to figure it out, we'll do that. But it won't be too exciting. Yeah, maybe we'll do that. But I just want to make sure I said that. Because I was actually pretty excited that I even got... I was like... I just messaged him one day. I've messaged them in the past asking for product, not just to give to me, just to buy it. And they're like, "Oh, you need to get to a store that can get to a Spanish distributor." And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know any." And then I finally just messaged him like, "Dude, I can't get your product. Can you give me a key?" And they're like, "Here." So I was pretty excited to play, and I was even more excited to find out it was translated in English because I was afraid it was still in Spanish. Mm-hmm. But yeah,
at least on the digital theme, yeah.
We'll leave it there, and then we'll just move to the ruler of the week that we were going to do, which we haven't done this in a while, and we haven't especially done it for anything during this cluster. So when we were trying to figure it out, we decided to do Fuji. Fuji is something that I know Colin built that played in one of the videos we recorded, and Joey's played it against me a few times in videos we recorded.
My Fuji deck is way better than Colin's. So.
Yeah, I don't know whose is better. I know that when I was talking to Joey, I was plucking cards out like, oh yeah, I'm pretty sure Colin runs all these except for these. And watching the gameplay, I'm like, oh, I think I was completely wrong. what I thought Colin had that Joey also had. So I'll be interested in seeing what their picks are. So I'm gonna let them go first and second. I can figure out who's going first, whatever, out of them two. And then because I picked 6 cards that I hated having to face against during this, and I'm just going to pick one of them in the end, but in case I picked some of them, I'm going to X some of these boxes out. Also, I didn't find that deal for Play DKP accessories, but it's some sort of summer deal for getting people outside and active. So just hit their website up. I'm sure you're going to find it on a banner somewhere, but code TCG at checkout gets you the how much % off for shipping?
5% off.
5% off for shipping. There you go.
Well, no, 5% off,
period.
But yeah, so continue.
So who's going first?
Who's going first?
Yeah, that's the question.
Oscar. No, Joey.
Oscar.
I just said I'm going last.
Yeah. Okay, well, there's a bunch of really good ones that I kind of passed over that I think are amazing. It's just super fun to play some of those. But I went with kind of, I guess, an obvious one, but one that some people might not put in a Fuji deck. It's his original Master Rune, actually, Flame Soldier formation. This is one where you can pay X and the red. Yeah, see, Colin's already like, oh, I don't like that. But you get to play X and red to either target X J Resonators, cannot attack or block until end of turn. And what I actually really like was tutoring your deck for a Fire Resonator with total cost X or less and put it in the field. So basically, I think, the first part is pretty decent game ender, but I never feel like if I'm playing Fuji, I never felt like I was beating Oscar at any really point. So I was never like, oh man, I have a giant board and I can swing in and just kill everything because it can't block. What I use it for though was you usually play it on turn 7 or 6, and I tried to and I paid 6 for X, and I tried to get Ushua, who's probably one of my favorite resonators now. Because he comes in and you get to search your top 5 for a Fire Resonator of 5 cost or less, and pretty much all of Fuji's dragons that you want to play are 5 cost or less. So you get to bring in your dragon, and so you got Ushua coming in for 17, and then you have dragon. Whichever dragon you decide is the one that you want to get. Hopefully you land on one of them, but I think that combo is super good, and it's a really low key pretty good combo. So. I like Flame. Yeah, Colin's shaking his head. I like Flame Soldier so many.
Who was it that dropped an Ushua in and I was like, cool, I'm just going to low-ride that ability. Was it you, Joey?
No.
I'll low-ride it one of y'all's ability. Do you run Ushua?
Because I
Yeah,
played
I did.
versus
Okay.
IU and I played versus Brunhild.
I mean,
So-
IU runs.
Okay. Yeah.
What's his name? I can't
No,
remember. Right.
I don't think I even
Flora,
run that
yeah.
Master Rune in my Fuji deck. I think I might have left it out.
Well, it can only go in your rune deck since it's not a slash chant or anything.
Well, yeah,
But-
that's what I'm saying. I think I
I know,
left
I
it
know.
out in favor of better Master Runes.
Okay.
But
What's your best card, Colin?
well, hold on, counterpoint, because if you're comparing the two Master Runes, one and the no blocking thing, his other Master Rune is way better than that first ability of that Master Rune. And what would you rather have? Them can't block for a turn, which, like you said, Fuji doesn't really benefit too much from that, or would you rather it be you just like get rid of 2/3 on their entire board guaranteed? And so I think
Yeah, I agree that
And for
that,
cheaper,
that his
a lot
other
cheaper.
Master Rune is better than the blockers thing.
As far as the search functionality, like your scenario you just gave, you're spending 7 will to tutor that.
For Ushua. That's amazing.
That's not. You're not even tutoring at that point. You're not even like a substitute teacher or anything. You're just like hanging out, and you just happen to run across something. Like 7 cost at that point, your opponent's like, well, oh, that's cool. Good thing I'm playing a dark deck, and I'm up to 37 stones by turn 7. So, what I think is better, because Joy had mentioned, a lot of dragons are 5 cost and less in this deck. So my card that I really like to put in my rune deck, that I think is really good, is Flame Dragon Summoning, which inside of your rune deck is a
summoning.
4
In a
cost.
Fuji deck. Who would have thought that? He's
It's only 2
going
divinity.
dragons in his dragon deck base, guys.
Freaking Joy, what's a must have for Fuji? His Master Rune.
I didn't want to go with the super obvious.
That's super obvious. You went through this Master Rune. And I'm
But
just
okay,
stating,
but
the
mine
Master
was
Rune that
more-
specifically can only ever be in Fuji, and the other Master Rune can go in other decks. That can physically only ever. Like, I don't want to go obvious and choose a Fuji card that can only ever exist.
I went
in
controversial though. I went controversial, and I think that's better than World Flame Summoning or Flame
Yeah,
Dragon
that's-
Summoning, which is like
Fuji.
which I
Punching a baby
completely
is
agree.
controversial doesn't mean it's a good choice.
Flame Dragon Summoning is a great card. So okay,
But, yeah,
the
the Flame
real
Dragon
question
Summoning is a great
What's
card.
your favorite dragon to
Hold on. Let me see
Okay.
for people who don't know. This is a 4 cost chant rune, but you put it in your rune deck. Well, it's a 5 cost, and you put it in your rune deck because it costs 1 less inside of there. And then it deals 800 damage to a J/Resonator, which actually hits a decent amount of J rulers inside of this format. And then you search your deck, and this is separate. It's search your deck, so in case they protect the damage or something, you still search your deck for a dragon with total cost 5 or less and put it into the field. So you literally, for 4 cost, probably killing something and getting a 5-drop in the field, which is much better than paying 6 for a 5-drop. You pay 4 for a 5-drop and damage. But I really like the card, and I just love the idea of it going like almost like a sacrifice. It's burning something to sacrifice to summon the dragon into the field and stuff like that. So I was disappointed that the art was used for that. I was hoping that would be a legit dragon, but maybe we'll see it in some of the 50 cards.
And who's your dragon you want to reach for with that card?
Ooh, let me hear Joey talk about yours.
Dragon.
No, you know what?
while
I'm
I
gonna
double
go to
check.
mine while we do
Okay,
that
yeah,
because
I'll come back to that.
I did have this card pulled up as well because playing Joey and it is a big pain in the butt. Like if I'm on Brunhild and I throw her in and I bring something out because I want to populate my field, and then you guys flip this card, hit her for 8. Joey always went for Dragon of Kunlun or Kunlun, whatever you want to pronounce it, who would then hit her for another 1,000. So it guaranteed the 18 and to kill her off no matter what. And that was like the biggest pain in the butt, like of playing Joey's deck, is just that combo would always come out and hit her if I judgment her into play.
That felt like such a shit combo though. Like,
Well, I mean,
hated
I'm
playing
not. I don't
Dragon
play
Kunlun, but it
Fuji to know
wasn't
which is the
necessarily
best situation.
equally.
Yeah, it is. One of the cards I disliked is with Brunhild I have ideal set of like with my build of like Ares and maybe a couple of the other smaller dudes, like one of them being March Hare, and then getting the Three Kingdoms partition plan played on me, and then having to figure out who I'm going to keep. Actually, the opponent chooses and banishes the rest, right? Oh no, that would be me. So yeah, no, having to pick who I want to keep is a tough one. So that's why I picked that.
Yeah. No, I think I think the best dragon to get. Well, I'll let Colin choose his dragon first, but I really like Three Kingdom partition plan also. Like
I did too. Yeah.
It's such a low key 2-cost removal. If it's with you can play it when they have 2 resonators also. So even if they don't have much of a board, it's still kind of online. It's only 2 costs, which is really nice. It's still a decent removal, and it gets past all this pesky stuff like barrier and on all that kind of baloney stuff. But no, I think I'd play 3 of the Three Kingdom partition because I don't think it's super good. I'm curious though, Colin, do you think, because I started thinking about this, I was tweaking my my Fuji deck,
hold
and
on.
I ended up main.
What's his
main
dragon?
decking.
Did he say his dragon?
Huh? No,
dragon?
he hasn't said it yet.
Who's dragon?
Did Dre say his dragon?
No, I'm waiting.
He wanted to
say
hear
your
yours
dragon,
first.
I don't influence you or anything.
Well, it depends on the situation. The 2 that I like.
As a go-to dragon is
Yeah.
Real quick, I was just gonna say I still really like Ultra Dragon, but he is somewhat situational. But the one I actually found I actually ended up really liking was, especially to grab, was Thunder Dragon, which isn't a 5-cost, he's a 4-cost, but he's a 9/8. And he's got flying and swiftness, so if you pull him out of the deck, he's able to swing in right away. And when he enters, you can discard a card at random to deal 800 damage to a Resonator, which could potentially work in conjunction with Flame Summoning, with the Dragon Summoning card. And in case something had a lot of health, a Resonator had a lot of health, since that doesn't hit a J Resonator, and stuff like that. Or you just have eliminated 2 targets for 4 will. You eliminated 2 different things and bring them out, and you're swinging for 9 as well. So sorry for the dogs, but yeah, I end up really liking Thunder Dragon.
Yeah, Thunder Dragon is by far the only the only dragon that I actually ended up liking. There's a lot of okay dragons, but Thunder Dragon is an actual strong dragon, and the swiftness on him is super good. And it's especially with Dragon Flame Summoning, it's you ping one thing for 8, and then you ping another thing for 8, and it's that's some decent damage that you can do. Yeah, I totally agree. I love Thunder Dragon. He's my favorite dragon. Shout out though, Neo Berserk Dragon. I hate him, but I realized as I was playing, because I play Sand Awakening, which gives a target resonator +4/+8. So you could totally play Neo Berserk Dragon and Sand Awakening him and make him live for one of your swing attacks. So I thought that I might be trying, to do a little whoop de whoop there and make him live for his attack. So yeah.
Yeah, no, that could be interesting. Yeah, Davos.
But what else was I gonna say? Yeah, but I love Ushua. The other thing I was talking about. Do you think you should main deck the Flame Dragon Summoning, Colin? I considered it, and
No,
I think I ended up putting them in.
No, I think it's a one-off that's pretty good. I mean, I could be wrong, but I think once you get to that 5-cost for it, it starts to hurt a little bit. Plus, it's not always a great card to draw. It's just nice to have in your back pocket, but not something that's necessarily good for consistently do.
So having y'all guys run Fuji and their Dragon Fuji decks that y'all been trying to do, what's something that you would like to see printed at
A
some
good
point
5-cost dragon.
to actually bring? But that's it. That's all you would like to see is a good 5-cost dragon, not something else to help support you for the first couple turns. It's
I'd love
not
to
just
see
some burning
Fuji-
dudes.
I'd love to see Fuji with an ability that lets him ride on a dragon. But,
Okay, we're not gonna rat on cards.
You know what?
We want to see
Here,
cards.
all right.
printed.
Jay, quiet. You know what needs to happen is there needs to be, whether it be an addition, a stone that does this, something that lets him pay any will cost,
that too.
as long as it's a dragon.
Yeah.
That's what needs to happen.
That'd be
So
tight.
being able to throw down there's still not the big variety, but it goes a long way, I think, and giving access to some of the other dragons. That way you're not stuck with dead hands that you wanted to just summon with the summoning card or with Fuji's flip or whatever. You can actually play them if needed. I don't know if there's any low-cost dragons that are super available, but low-cost dragons would also be nice to have, just as options for synergy.
The only low-cost dragon I kind of go with is Carrier Dragon, but I don't play him. Like I don't like
Carrier
him,
Dragon is great. We need more of like Tiny Alabaster Drake was great. We need something like that.
What about, because the first thing that came to mind is like, what about Rook Eggs? Would you want Rook Eggs to help you search out fire, resonators? Maybe like throw out some lower cost dragons before you start digging your like turn 4 summoning out.
A version of it, not Rook Eggs specifically.
Right. Just something that searches.
Yeah, I'd be down for that.
I mean, I don't know. I've like as far as searching out dragons going, like they have the 1 cost dragon search in his rune deck, I think.
I got this, Joe. You have like a Rook Egg. It's a 2 cost though instead of a 1, and at each end of turn you put a counter on it, and at any point you can banish it and get a dragon for that cost or less and put it into the field. Like the egg hatched, and here comes a dragon in instead.
Dude, that'd be pretty tight.
And so the longer it gestates, the bigger the dragon is.
Yeah. So Dragon's Flight is a 1 cost divinity 2. Search your deck for a dragon, reveal it and put it in your hand, then shuffle your deck, or target dragon controlled deals damage equal to its attack to target resonator your opponent controls. So like that's already a pretty decent card, but I never run it because I don't like the search function that it gives. I don't think it's it's worth it.
Well, I mean, I don't think there's any dragons you're aiming for, to hold in hand, because all your stuff's bringing them out into play, right? Mm-hmm. Whether it's Ushua or it's the summoning card.
Yeah, I think just a better maybe a better early game stuff, maybe some. Like I don't really know what he needs.
I was gonna give a shout out because I have a feeling he's listening to one of our locals, Nathan. We played on Sunday, and we do when there's not enough of us, we'll do something for fun. And there's 4 of us, and we just do that thing where you attack left, block right. And he's like, okay, I'm gonna play my Fuji deck. And I remember him talking about it to me before you guys came to sit down, and it didn't click until he called his first stone. It's a water stone. And then 4 turns later, he's like, call stone. 4th water stone comes into play. It was great. It was a lot of fun. I like when we do these fun formats. He did. As crazy as that sounds. Like, I attacked him to Colin. Okay, we're going to the right this time, right?
Yeah.
And he went and removed 10 counters to wipe my field, right? Or do something to it.
You weren't attacking into me. You were defending for me, and I hadn't attacked into you.
Oh, right, God.
And I was in charge. Instead of attacking into Nathan, you were doing all of your effort into me for some reason.
Well, because he removed 10 counters and did something to me, and I was like, oh, that's it. You know what? Remove that from play.
No, you're trying to Spear Valkyrie me, and so in response, I was trying to stop the Spear Valkyrie, so I just wiped your field.
And if you let it go, all I would have done was gained life, and 1 dude would have died. And so that dude died.
You're trying to kill my Arthur or my Vivian. I forget, but both of them were good.
Who, by the time that turn ended, died. Yeah, and you removed the 6 counters as part of the remove 10 counters bit. It was going to be. If you had let me gain life, he wouldn't have won. That's all.
Back me up here. I made the right choice, right?
I don't know if it's the right choice, but I agree with Colin that you initiated the contact. Colin
in
just
hindsight,
rebutted. Yeah.
In hindsight, after the turn, I was like, I probably should have just removed 3 counters and destroyed your highest attack resonator, and I would have survived and been fine, and had 7 counters still. But I was like,
I had 2 dudes in play, and he had 3 with a bunch of counters everywhere. That's a threat. That's like something you want to try to do something about it with. You know what I'm saying? That's why I initiated.
But then don't
Oscar's blown out of proportion, though.
Don't get shocked when he comes back at you.
Oh yeah, no. I'm just saying I took him back, and that thing left no matter what. And if it hadn't been for him just doing that, Nathan probably wouldn't have won. That's all I'm saying. Which, by the way, he ran those blue stones because he ended up doing mystery box or whatever it's called, and got all these giant cards out. And I was just like, whoa.
Yeah, he did.
That's when it really came to realize whoa. Okay.
Yeah. I will say blue has some pretty cool dragons. Like I was looking at the Dragon Lord Ragnarok. It would be so cool if Fushi could pay that red for Ragnarok, or he could pay for Misty Dragon Spirit, or a bunch.
There's no reason not. He's a dragon tamer. He's like, oh, but that dragon don't look pretty, so I can't tame that one. It's like he should. There's no reason he shouldn't be able to pay for all the dragons.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he's the king of.
If all R&D cares about is flavor, how was that skipped over?
I would say that he's the king of Kunlun, and Kunlun has dragons. So he's not a king of dragons. He's a king of an area with a lot of dragons.
So we'll go ahead and wrap up here.
Yeah.
But if you guys want us to do another, rule of the week, let us know who it is, whether it's Wanderer or New Frontiers or Cluster. Again, we haven't done many of the Cluster rulers, so preferred to do that. And if multiple of you comment, then get them a chance to rank them in order. What we'll do week by week. But yeah, that's it. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Woo.